Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! No matter who we were, we all took something special away from Descendants of Zombies. We all believed in it with all of our hearts. We had a favorite character, a favorite moment that made us a fan, and made us realize that being a fan of Descendants of Zombies was the coolest feeling ever. The greatest honor that I ever had came in the form of creating all these wonderful videos, which amounted to over 1,000 videos that would eventually be uploaded and created for this YouTube channel, and I've honestly had the time of my life. I thank you guys so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because there is a lot of competition for me to have to contend with every single time I upload a video, because you never know how many views each video is going to receive, how people are going to receive your videos and respond to them. But you guys have received these videos so well, and you've chosen these videos every single time. Maybe that had something to do with how this crazy guy lived in a haunted house that he believed was haunted for years. Maybe it had something to do with how I was isolated here on this island, which there are only two ways off of: by boat that could sink, crash, and explode, or by plane that could also sink, crash, and explode. Either way, I'm really screwed, because I believe a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion could happen at any given moment, but that's what made these videos so fun and allowed them to have such an incredible reach. Because there are far more people out there who love Descendants of Zombies with all their hearts, and given how many people of Descendants of Zombies I've already met, I've still got my work cut out for me, because I still have thousands of people that I still have to meet, and I'm really excited to meet in the very near future, because there is a future for us all to be excited about. We've been left wondering who is the villain that Red and Chloe has created, what the sisterhood of Red and Pink will detail, and what their storyline will bring forth for the first time ever, which is something I'm really excited about. Because the thing is, if you guys have a sister, she's probably going through her Descendants of Zombies phase. So this presents you with the perfect opportunity to sit down with her and talk about who your favorite characters were and what your favorite moments were that made you a fan of Descendants of Zombies, which feels like forever ago for many of you. The coolest thing about when Zombies 5 comes out is that you're going to be a lot older and you will have a greater appreciation for Descendants of Zombies. Trust me on that. Because I was always a fan of the Power Rangers, and I always thought pro wrestling was real. And 25 and a half years later, after having been a wrestling fan for forever, I still think wrestling is real, and I've always had that greater appreciation for it. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, man, you are such a loser, but I love you so much because you create really wonderful videos. If you are somebody who thinks that, thank you so much for that, because many of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel have been with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here. I never imagined that I would have so many fans amassed to this YouTube channel and feel so connected to such a beautiful franchise with such a beautiful story. Now, I may have never been captain of the football team, but I always supported the cheerleading squad, and I've always favored cheerleaders over football players, because the thing is, they show so much heart and dedication, and they deserve to be supported and being shown so much love. Football players, I always thought, were arrogant, and I always thought that in order to be cool in high school, I had to join the football team, or I had to be a member of a gym, and I always had to be lifting weights. But when it came to winning the heart of a girl, all you really had to do was just be yourself. You had to tell them your stories and give them a chance to get to know you for who you were, and if they appreciated you, they would always let you know about it. Because the thing is, all a girl's ever wanted to do is make everybody around her happy. Kind of like how Addison Wells from Zombies just wanted to make everybody that was a part of her life happy. All she wanted was their love and support. She had the love and support of her family, and she had to earn the love and support of her friends, and she went through so many challenges in her own life, from being a zombie to eventually a werewolf to eventually what became an alien. She truly had to embrace so many identities, and I feel like a lot of us have struggled with trying to do that, trying to find acceptance in a world sometimes that is very difficult to find acceptance within. But having said that, everybody has a chance. Everybody is created equal, and everybody deserves a chance of finding acceptance. And I think more people, because of Descendants of Zombies, have been allowed to do that. And you should never be afraid to let the world know how you truly feel. Guys, when I went to school, I was pretty much a loser. I was a video gamer. I was a computer geek. I knew everything about computers. I could design websites. I created a lot of really professional websites. I worked with ProWrestling.com, WrestleZone.com. I was a big wrestling fan, so I used to write a lot of journalistic columns for ProWrestling.com and WrestleZone.com, and I had the time of my life. And a lot of people thought I was the biggest loser ever. They would go online, they would read my columns and think, hey, this guy really thinks professional wrestling was real. But that's what allowed me to bring every column to life. I remember 13 years old in my school library using flash drives, uploading, actually I don't even think flash drives were real. What am I saying? Floppy disks. putting floppy disks into computers and uploading my columns to websites, emailing them in, and just hoping that my column was going to be well received. And now, 25 and a half years later, I have this profound chance because of YouTube to showcase my passion for Descendants and Zombies, my passion for all things Disney, and I've had the time of my life because the greatest feeling that a content creator could ever have is the realization that, hey, somewhere out there today, you're touching somebody's heart for the stories you're sharing about how you believed in Jasmine, how you loved Ariel with all of your heart, how you thought Aurora was the most beautiful Disney princess ever. You guys have heard countless stories about how I thought Aurora had the most beautiful Disney princess name of all time, and she was just undeniably gorgeous. She may have been just this princess who was asleep for the majority of the 75-minute production, but she had such value shown in this story. And she really brought it to life. I really appreciated characters such as Belle because of how intelligent she was and just how kind she was. I think a lot of people took a lot of inspiration away from Belle because of how kind she was and how she always gave the Beast a second chance, because very few people in this lifetime will give you a second chance. I've always appreciated friendships, and I've always appreciated how Descendants of Zombies allowed us to become friends with more people than ever before. I had probably 4 or 5 really good friends going through high school, and we used to hang out a lot. We had dreams of becoming indie band rockers, and we had dreams of being the greatest video gamers of all time and beating games like Super Mario 64. And you're saying to us, hey, Jonathan Clarke, Super Mario 64 was sold in 1997. I'm not even old enough to remember Super Mario 64. I got Nintendo Switch. Well, the thing was, in 1997, Nintendo 64 was the coolest system ever. And pretty much if you didn't have Nintendo 64, you were a loser. Either you didn't have satellite dish and couldn't get wrestling on pay-per-view, or Nintendo 64, you were a loser. And I remember every Saturday when we didn't have school, we would meet up and we would play Nintendo 64, and that's what allowed us to bond, trying to collect 120 stars in this really cool Super Mario game. I think you guys have a new version of Super Mario Galaxy and a new version of Super Mario Tennis, and I remember playing those on Nintendo 64 and having the time of my life in my bedroom with my friends. We'd have sleepovers, we'd watch movies together. We'd really have the time of our life. It allowed us to bond. Even though I may have thought pro wrestling was real and the coolest thing I ever saw on TV and the animated Spider-Man was the coolest TV show you could watch on Saturday mornings as a part of Fox Kids, and Boy Meets World was such an emotional show, that's what allowed us to bond, because that was what made the 90s cool. And honestly, guys, growing up in the 1990s was the coolest thing ever, so I can understand how Kylie Control feels about that decade, because it really gave me a chance to really feel fulfilled. In 1999, my first radio show premiered, and I had no idea that my radio show would go on to be so well received. And every video that I would eventually upload on YouTube would become so popular. You know, because of you guys, I've been able to surpass every co-partner I've had in radio, every partner I've ever had, and every YouTube channel I've ever had the honor of hosting or creating. I have thousands of subscribers. They may have a couple of hundred. I haven't talked to a lot of them in years because we've, went our separate ways. We had other projects happening for us and other opportunities that we took full advantage of, but I've surpassed every single one of them. And I've gone on to become the most popular content creator in the history of Descendants of Zombies, having everything to do with each and every one of you, because you may have had a favorite character. You undeniably saw something special in Ruby. You saw something special in Kylie. And I, too, felt the same way. When I see them taking photos of themselves and posting it on social media when they're hanging out, I can't help but find time and appreciating that, because I love that so much. I wish we saw more of this from other celebrities, but we're seeing it more often from your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Now, I know there's a lot of rumors about how Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker have backed out of this tour. It has been confirmed that they will not be a part of this tour, but I think they will forever and always hold a very special place in our hearts. Whatever the disclosed reasons are that they're not going to be a part of this tour will forever remain unknown, but I think they are entitled to their privacy, and when the time is right, they will probably tell you why they chose to opt out. It'll probably be a reason that Disney tells them to give you, but I think they've had their reasons for forever, and I think we should respect them for their privacy and not wanting to tell us what those reasons are, because I think there's a lot that happens behind closed doors with Disney and Nickelodeon, things that are never admitted to. But the thing is, guys, they're under a lot of pressure and they've got a lot going on. Kylie Cantrell is so excited about her new album coming up between now and the end of 2026, and Freya Sky's got a lot happening for leg 2 of her respective tour, so they've got a lot happening for them, and I think we can find time and really appreciating that and showing a great deal of honor to them and honoring them as we continue to be fans with so much love and support, because they love you. No matter if they're a part of this tour or not, they do love you. You guys do know that, right? Because they know that without you guys, they wouldn't be the superstars that they are. They would have never had the chance to realize their dreams of being a part of Descendants of Zombies. And that's the one thing that I've never, ever wanted any of you to forget. Without you, there would be no such thing as Jonathan Clarke on YouTube, and Jonathan Clarke wouldn't still be relevant in 2025. I think what I'd be doing is either preparing myself for a zombie apocalypse because I believe zombies are going to come in through my window at any given moment, or I'd be this loser streaming video games on Twitch. And to be honest with you guys, I don't want to have to go back to streaming video games on Twitch. I'd much rather continue on being a loving supporter of Descendants of Zombies and create all these really cool videos for you guys. So if you could hit my subscribe button, I would really appreciate that, because working at Five Nights at Freddy's part-time and streaming video games is not the best life that I want for myself. I want a better life, which will include being an action hero in Descendants of Zombies. It could include that. I mean, it could happen. If you hit the subscribe button, I could either have a chance of being a creative director or a creative writer, or have the chance to really bring characters to life for you guys, because I think that being an action hero will give me the perfect opportunity to touch more hearts than ever before, and jump out of airplanes like Mr. Beast and go on to surpass over 458.1 million subscribers, because 458 million subscribers will never be enough to beat Mr. Beast. How do you expect me to beat Mr. Beast if I don't get 458.1 million subscribers? You know, it really amazes me how much heart people put into videos, and how you can go on to have your own successful restaurant chain like Beast Burgers and have 458 million subscribers. I mean, when you really think about it, it could happen for you. I mean, you see people like Clarke and Ruby Rose Turner performing on the stage at Worlds Collide Tour events and shows, and having the chance to have their own animated TV series. Big shout out of love going out to Ruby on the behalf of myself, because she had her own animated TV series. It's called Ruby. Volume 1 was a huge success. And it was so awesome seeing her this action hero who was animated. I never imagined I'd see Ruby being an action hero that was animated, achieving another one of my dreams that has yet to happen for me. I would love and have the chance to have all these opportunities that I've seen these stars amount to, because the thing is, guys, how can we not find time in appreciating them? How can we not find time in showing so much love and support for everything they've had the chance to be a part of? I have felt so honored to experience this with all of you, and I couldn't feel more proud of people like Clarke and Ruby Rose Turner, who are some of the most fearless and strongest people that I've ever had the honor to talk about here on this show. What they've had to endure, how they have to stay in shape, how they're always under a considerable amount of pressure, being told what to say and how to act. I mean, I don't even know if I'd be able to deal with it. I'd probably crack under the pressure. But the thing is, guys, the love and support that we've had for them is truly undeniable. How you guys come out by the thousands for these meet and greets for Descendants of Zombies, how you guys show up with all your merch for them to sign and have the chance to get to know them, and they get the chance to know you. I've really appreciated that. I've always wanted to be a security guard at these events just to see it, just to stand there with my arms folded and see it. Because in all honesty, guys, you guys have so much love and support for these stars, and that deserves to be commended. You guys deserve to be honored. You know, we spend a lot of time giving praise to people like Kylie and Meg and Freya all the time, but who we should be honoring are each and every one of you. You guys gave me the chance to be a part of something so special, to share my stories with you about how I believed everything on TV was real, how I thought vampire TV shows were the scariest thing ever, how I used to go to see SpongeBob SquarePants at the movies and think it was the best movie I ever watched in my life, how I was so excited for a Miley Cyrus movie premiere, how I thought Hannah Montana could have been a real rock star. You know, the thing was, good night everybody, the thing was, I really, really loved it, and I loved sharing my stories with you, and I never imagined my stories would be so widely reviewed and so well received. But it happened because of each and every one of you. And guys, yes, I really did have the biggest crush in the world years ago on Hannah Montana, and I still do. And I would love to congratulate Miley Cyrus at this moment for 20 years of an incredible career and an incredible run as Hannah Montana. I know I don't talk about Miley Cyrus as much as what I used to, but Miley will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. And 20 years from now, Clarke will continue to hold that same place. Because I saw something special in Clarke from the very first moment I saw her. I knew she was going to be something special, and I knew she was going to touch every one of your hearts. You know, I see you guys being so passionate about things like Hello Kitty, and so passionate about things like Phineas and Ferb. And I can't help but love that and feel so honored to have been a part of this and to have experienced this with so many wonderful people. Because if you love Hello Kitty, if you love Descendants of Zombies, and you've got that one Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour hoodie, that you've never ever taken off. I see so much to appreciate about that, and I wish more content creators really felt the same way when it came to talking about the Worlds Collide Tour, which again kicks off on September 25th. I think more people are excited about that than ever given credit for, because I know I've heard a lot of critical reviews about how if Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky aren't a part of this, nobody's going to go. But the thing you got to realize is there are people already making plans to be a part of the Worlds Collide Tour, so excited that they can't wait for it. And the thing is, there are going to be way better reviews posted about this and give us something to be more excited about than perhaps ever before. I wish I could go to it, but there are no Canadian dates for this tour, and I can't get a ticket. Kind of like how I couldn't get a ticket to SpongeBob SquarePants last Christmas, but I eventually did, but it took me some time. It just goes to show how much love and support each and every one of you have had for Descendants of Zombies, that you've continued to hold with you for forever and always, because you are the reason behind Descendants of Zombies' profound success. And I've never, ever wanted any of you to forget that. You are the reason behind the millions of views that Descendants of Rise of Red got within 3 days on Disney Channel and Disney Plus. I could not believe the ratings and the reviews that Descendants had compiled because you guys believed in them so much. You thought they were the strongest people ever, and you saw heroes in them. And that was one thing that a lot of people didn't really take into consideration or really appreciate, was the fact that you saw heroes and something special in these stars, and I always did. I always believed in you guys because you believed in your favorite stars, and I wanted to give that a chance more than anybody else ever did on YouTube for the way I told this story, because it's all about how you tell that story and how your story wants to be seen and heard, and I had the chance to share with you and experience a really wonderful story. While I may have been suffering from zombie infection, which apparently I'm suffering from every day, I have no idea what's going on with me. I think I've had this cold for about, 15 weeks, and it hasn't gotten better, but the show must go on, and I got to keep producing really wonderful videos for you guys to prepare you for the inevitable, which is a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion, which I've been following ever since last year, which hasn't happened yet for some reason. I'm expecting the lights to flicker in this house at any given moment because, as many of you have known who have been subscribed here for a very long time, I do live in a haunted house. Yes, the rumors are true. People have been trying to convince me that this house is haunted and I should move out of it, but I've stayed here for forever because I think it's the coolest setting to bring these videos to life. And, there are so many legendary stories about ghosts and how the world was built on legends. It's said that legends are built on some of the greatest stories ever told. And I'm hoping that my story will be one of the greatest ever told. If never one of the greatest ever told, eventually I'm hoping it will be. And I will go down in history for being a legend for how I've told the story about Descendants of Zombies. It's said that many of the greatest legends are built on some of the best stories ever told. And I just hope that I've been able to tell you some of the best stories that eventually would have gone on to touch each and every one of your hearts. Because when I told you I had the biggest crush in the world on Jessica Simpson, when I believed in Hilary Duff, when I believed in Miley Cyrus, who eventually became Kylie Cantrell, and Malia Baker, I really meant it. Because I saw something special in them, and you too saw the same thing. And that's what brought us that much closer together as fans of these franchises and gave us a profound amount of respect, because it allowed us the opportunity to have the chance to be a part of something so special and something that many of us will never, ever forget. Because 20 years from now, I guarantee you, we will be having these same conversations, and we will still be offering so much encouragement to so many wonderful people who love this franchise so much. You probably know somebody who's still going through their Descendants of Zombies phase, so it's the perfect opportunity to call them up on the phone, hang out with them, watch the entire Descendants and Zombies collections, and share your favorite memories from being fans. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to make more friends than ever before and show a greater appreciation for something that you've known and certainly appreciated and loved over time, and I just felt so honored to be a part of that. I seemingly, some way or somehow, became a part of the Descendants of Zombies franchises and became a part of this soundtrack, which went on to hold a very special place in my heart for forever and always because of how much Descendants of Zombies meant to each and every one of you. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of each and every one of your lives and to have been a part of the Descendants of Zombies soundtracks, which is something I've loved. The music, the story, the characters that we all took something special away from, no matter who we were, and we saw something special within, and we still see something special within in terms of a future, because it's one that we are all going to be a part of and we are never, ever going to forget. If you are somebody who is relatively new to this YouTube channel, hi, welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan Clarke, and I am the biggest fan of Descendants of Zombies, and as always, it is my honor to meet you and to be in your presence to have these conversations with thousands of people. It's something undeniably I've looked forward to, and I've certainly cherished, that will forever and always hold hold a very special place in my heart, and I've loved honoring you and your favorite stars in these stories we have all felt a part of and felt special because of, and it's been so much fun for me, really an honor, and it's something I look forward to every day and every night that I sit in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, and have these conversations with so many wonderful people who I have touched the hearts of, who have chosen to make this their favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time and feel so stronger, perhaps more stronger than ever before about Descendants of Zombies. I've got a lot to say about Descendants of Zombies, and I will do that throughout today, so I'm inviting you to join me for so many shows that I will upload throughout the course of today, throughout the period of 24 hours, because we've got so much to get into and so much to say as it relates to Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched this video and having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. Forever and always, it has been my honor.